Antonio Tarver was laughing at one of my jokes there. He's a great guy. We're going to talk to him in a moment or two. I know. Welcome to In This Corner. I'm Darren Dutchyshen, along with the coach, Russ Anber, who happens to be a big Montreal fan. Really? We're going to talk boxing. We're going to talk Habs.
Well, we'll do boxing. We'll do my hockey show later. We'll get that one on.
Okay, let's start with the biggest fight from this past weekend. You know, undersized, underappreciated, and certainly not undisputed. Chris Bryd is the longest-serving title holder in the heavyweight division. And while that doesn't say much considering the transient nature of the division itself, he has held the IBF belt since 2002 when he beat Evander Holyfield. Now, on Saturday in Mannheim, Germany, he was making his 5th title defense as he was facing off against Wladimir Klitschko, a fighter that he lost the unanimous decision to 6 years ago. The 35-year-old Bryd with a record of 39-2-1, 20 knockouts, taking on Big Bad Vlad, 45-3 with 40 KOs. And Russ, early on in this fight, Wladimir established that straight right hand, and he went to it repeatedly.
The plan was simple. Use the left hand outside and land straight, long right hands like that, straight down the pipe against Bryd.
Right. Bryd's wife offering some encouragement. It wouldn't help. In the third round, the big Ukrainian continues to dominate this fight. Nice combination scores for Klitschko.
And it was a simple procedure. Look at the way he lines him up. And there again, the straight right hand down the pipe goes back to the outside. And remember last week we said he's got to use his height and reach as an advantage, and he does. There it is, the hard right hand straight down the pipe. Down goes Bryd.
And this was a clean shot, and it was a hard shot. Now, Chris Bryd's got a pretty good chin. He's been in with a lot of big guys, and he's taken a lot of shots, and he took a lot of shots in this fight. Somehow, he would get up. He would end up surviving the 5th round.
That's incredible, too, because he was hurt, and there was a lot of time left. Round 6 again, though. Klitschko comes right back to establish dominance, and there in the 7th, again, the straight right hand. Down he goes.
Yeah, Klitschko was dominant in this fight. Chris Bryd showing the effects all over his face. Wladimir Klitschko takes home the IBF and IBO heavyweight belt with the victory. Now, if you did not see this fight, you can see it on TSN. This Saturday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time. We are going to replay this bout for you. Although I think our highlights were a pretty good synopsis of exactly what took place in this fight. You know, we had previewed this bout. We talked to Chris Bryd. He had a game plan. That game plan did not come to fruition in this fight whatsoever. Wladimir Klitschko was the better and the more dominant fighter.
He tried to execute the game plan. He did. He said he was going to walk him down and take it right to Klitschko, and that's exactly what he did. He took it right to Klitschko. But unfortunately, Klitschko wasn't going to have any part of it. And the one thing that he did in the fight was every time Bryd got anywhere near him, he just grabbed him. He put on a Ukrainian bear hug on him and held him. The whole fight was based around landing those straight shots right down the middle. All he would do is get that left hand out in front of him, bang, throw the right hand. Get the left hand out in front of him, bang, throw the right hand. I mean, that was the key shot for Klitschko throughout the bout. And you know what? He had a plan. Him and Emmanuel Stewart established a plan, and he lived up to it. And he imposed himself like we said he should, and he did. And the right hand made the difference. He used his size. I mean, you can't fault the guy for
No, you can't, because you know what? If you were his trainer and you were in his corner and you saw him having as much success as he was having, you'd say, you know, stick with that bread and butter. Don't deviate from that. Let me ask you now, can Klitschko end up unifying the heavyweight title?
You know what? He could. I'm just trying to think, well, you know, when was the last time that somebody was able to dominate a division and basically only throw one punch in boxing? And that's the only punch he threw. I mean, the jab was feeble at best. It was just more of a, he was just placing it out there and just throwing the straight right hand. In the 5th round, when he had Bryd hurt, lots of time left, he couldn't get him out of there. So you can make an argument both ways for Klitschko. He could dominate, maybe yes. Will he be fun to watch? Yes, because you don't know what's going to happen. Right. So sure, he'll be fun. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you know, landing just one shot at a time.
But that's what he wants, so a puncher's chance. He'll go in there and trade. But we know Vladdy's chin, too, at times is a little bit suspect.
And the stamina.
Now, just a little over a year ago, Kermit Cintron was an up-and-coming welterweight from Puerto Rico. He'd won 24 fights in a row. He'd done it impressively, 23 by knockout. Then he ran into Antonio Margarito, and the roles were reversed. Suddenly, Cintron wasn't the baddest man in the ring, and Margarito tore him apart in 5 rounds. In his second fight since, he was in the ring with David Estrada. Now, Cintron with a record of 25-1. As I mentioned, 23 knockouts, taking on Estrada, who hasn't fought in a year. since facing Sugar Shane Mosley. Third round, they start trading. This was a pretty good fight for both guys.
You know what? Give credit to Estrada, because he doesn't have the skill level that Cintron has, but he certainly has a warrior's heart, and he kept coming forward, and early in the fight, it was dangerous. There's a good left hook that lands from Cintron. That shook Estrada a little bit, but Estrada keeps coming forward, and now he's coming back in the fifth round. Estrada firing back. They're not pretty punches, but boy, they're hard, and he's gutsy, and he keeps putting the pressure on, and when he got inside, it was trouble for Cintron on the outside. There's a shot up underneath. Again, the long right hand. That hurt Estrada again.
In the seventh round, though, well, that was clean, too.
Yeah,
you can understand why it buckled him. In the seventh round, though, Estrada
lands that left hook right there, right on the chin.
Yes, it was.
More in the seventh from Estrada. It's a vicious straight left. Now, this was an unusual fight because they both landed their shots. He hurt Cintron a little bit.
Every time he got in close and Cintron didn't keep him on the outside, Estrada had a shot. But then when he had him on the outside, this was the result.
Right. In the 10th round, Cintron says, enough is enough. I'm going to take care of business, and he finishes the fight off. You're absolutely right, though, about David Estrada. He showed us a lot in this fight. Now, it's Cintron, it's Cintron. Maybe he deserves to change his name. Maybe he wanted to change his name after that loss to Antonio Margarita and start fresh. Is he back, though? Is this the first of a new beginning?
You know what? He won the fight, Dutchie, okay? And he won a spectacular fight. I mean, it was exciting. He got rocked. He came back. But he did it against David Estrada. And if you look at the fight and you watch Estrada, give him full marks for the courage and the warrior that he is and in throwing shots. And he took it, and he took some shots and came in on the inside. But the skill level and the punches were just not there. And, you know, you would have expected Cintron to handle it a lot easier. And although he dominated the better part of the fight with shots like that, there were times when he kept letting Estrada get back into the fight, and he shouldn't have. And you have to remember something else. You remember in the fight when Estrada had with Mosley, Mosley hit him with that left hook to the body, right, and that hurt him, right? Hurt him. You would think that a puncher like Cintron would have capitalized on something like that. Again. He didn't. He might have thrown one good body shot the whole fight as well. So although this is a good win because Cintron, you know, persevered and he was able to turn back the challenge of a very gutsy warrior, you just have to wonder that he put in a lot of effort against somebody who was at best ordinary.
All right. We have to take a short break. When we come back, though, we are going to talk to Antonio Tarver. He gets ready for his fight with Bernard Hopkins. We'll hear from him. You're watching In This Corner with Russ Anber.
In This Corner on TSN is brought to you in part by CIL Golf Green. Greener, longer, guaranteed. And by Lawn Weed Oat. Kills lawn weeds, won't harm grass.
Some brands of grass seed have weeds. But CIL Golf Green grass seed is guaranteed weed-free. Start green, stay green with CIL Golf Green.
People come up to me and say, there is no way you're a 50-year-old grandmother. I've had people even say, are you the one in the purple bikini? And I tell them, you're right, I'm not 50, I'm 51.
How can a 51-year-old grandmother look this good? Simple. She strength trains with Bowflex. Own your very own Bowflex Extreme for no money down and payments of just $16 a month. Call the number on your screen now to get a free video or DVD that shows you how you can get great results with Bowflex.
I got this body from working out on Bowflex.
All it takes for great results is one simple workout done 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
I'm as confident in a tight pair of jeans as I'm in a bathing suit, and I love it. I'm always going to be fit, and it makes me feel really good because I can say I'm 51.
Call the number on your screen now to get a free video or DVD that shows you how you can get great results with Bowflex. Own your very own Bowflex Extreme for no money down and payments of just $16 a month.
Introducing the miracle of fusion, a revolutionary technology and a unique idea come together to create new Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure, with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, the precision of 1. The best shave ever. In manual or battery power. New Gillette Fusion.
JVC, the leader in HD technology, featuring full 1080p LCD flat panel displays, is proud to present TSN HD.
Rival boxing gear. Designed to perform.
Welcome back to the show. Throughout his entire career, Antonio Tarver has been a light heavyweight. From the Olympics to the pros, it has been his weight class. It's where he's made his living. Although recently, he did jump up to heavyweight, not to make history, but for Hollywood. He is in the most recent Rocky movie, Rocky 26 or whatever it is, but more importantly, his next fight will be against Bernard Hopkins. We got a chance to talk to the likable Antonio Tarver. Joining us now from Tampa is Antonio. And the first thing we wanted to ask you, with all due respect to Bernard Hopkins, will this be an easy fight for you?
I'm not going to, come into this fight thinking it's going to be an easy fight. Bernard Hopkins is one of those fighters that has a lot of pride, man. The guy knows his way around the ring like none other. The experience, all those title defenses. He's been on top for a long, long time. I'll be a fool to approach this fight and think that it's going to be a cakewalk. He's been noted as one of the dirtiest fighters in the business. I mean, he hits you on the hips, in the kidney, liver. He headbutts you. I remember he put a gash in Jermaine Taylor's head, and they almost stopped the fight. I mean, so I got to make sure that I cross all the T's and dot the I's in this bout. I mean, I have my work cut out, getting in shape, which I'm already coming down to that, and then losing this weight. I mean, everybody understands that I had to bulk up. Roy Jones made all the excuses in the world saying that he struggled in his first fight to me because of the weight loss. So they're thinking that I'm going to be weak, that I won't be in tip-top shape, that I'll be drained, and all those things, depleted. So I got to disprove that Roy Jones' theory was just a myth. It was just a theory, just that, an excuse. So I'm Mr. No Excuses. I'm not going to have any excuses on June 10th. I plan on being victorious. And like I said, I'm the legend killer. And one legend, another legend, must go in Bernard Hopkins.
Antonio, is this the biggest money fight out there for you at this time?
Hopefully all my fights from now on will be big money fights. I fought Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters, 3 times on pay-per-view. I beat Glenn Johnson, the Warrior. He's proven to be one of the best light heavyweights in the world. I had 2 fights with him. We packed L.A. Out there to Staples Center, and then we came back and we did it again in Memphis. I mean, the fans understand my ability, my skill, what I bring to the table, and where I'm at right now in boxing. They know that I'm one of the best fighters out there, and they respect that, and they support that. So, money has never been my drive. But yes, when you're fighting a guy like Bernard Hopkins, people want to see that fight. He's one of the biggest names out there in the game. Jermaine Taylor did not, input in Bernard Hopkins' head that it's time for him to hang it up. He had 2 controversial wins against Bernard Hopkins, depending on who you ask. This guy's 10 years my youth. 10 years. I'm 37. I'm not a spring chicken. And we know that boxing is about the A's and B's about the game. It's the sweet science. And no one knows that sweet science as well as Bernard Hopkins and Antonio Tarver. So we're going to go in there. We're going to fight to the finish. And I have my throne to protect. I am the king of the light heavyweight division. And on June 10th, I will continue to be the king.
Antonio, you've beaten every man you've ever faced in the ring. Why don't you get more credit?
I don't know, because they didn't see me coming. You didn't hear the critics saying, look out for Antonio Tarver. He's going to, be the only challenge to Roy Jones Jr. He's going to dominate the light heavyweight division coming out of the Olympics. They never said that. They always overlooked me. They attempted to sweep me under the rug. But because of my talent, my God-given talent and ability, I was able to overcome all those obstacles. I didn't have a major promoter, didn't have a super manager, didn't work with the likes of the top ranks, and all the rest of those guys. Didn't have guys like Jim Wilkes, Gary Shaw, pushing me. Didn't have a lot of hoopla coming out of the Olympics. I had to do it the hard way. I earned it. I deserved it, and I belong. So when you do it the hard way, they can't take it from you. And so the critics are the last ones to truly admit they were wrong.
Antonio, there's been some talk that Joe Calzaghe could be your next fight, presuming you beat Bernard Hopkins. Does that interest you?
Of course it interests me. Did you see that devastating performance that he put on and over there overseas? Yeah, beating my homeboy Jeff Lacey. You know, he's proven to be a champion, a worthy champion, and those are the type of fighters that I want. But I think his promoter has a lot of big dreams and you know, a lot of crazy demands. So, you know, I don't know if the fight will ever come to fruition, but I'm all for it.
Would you go there?
Of course not. Why would I go there? I don't have to go there. I'm the bigger name, the bigger star. I'm making the most money. So if they want to get and realize a payday that they've never realized, they have to come see me. No one is making demands on me. I'm in the driver's seat.
Antonio, the question I want to ask you is, why are we not seeing that third fight with Glenn Johnson?
Well, I mean, I beat Glenn Johnson the first time. I proved I was the better fighter the second time around. If Glenn Johnson, if they're willing to pay me, I feel what I deserve to fight Glenn Johnson, then we'll fight. Glenn Johnson does not intimidate me, and it's a shame and disrespectful for this guy who thought Roy Jones was going to somehow beat me the third time around. So go fight Roy Jones. Stop calling my name. I beat you twice. You know I'm the better fighter, and there's nothing you can do about that. Go get all the championships, and you become undisputed with all those minor belts. Then I might think about fighting you, but until then, he's an afterthought. He's done nothing. He had a life and death fight with Richard Hall just a month ago. I mean, what have you not seen in the first and second fight that you think you're going to see the third time around?
Antonio, we appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck in your upcoming fight with Bernard Hopkins.
Thank you. All my fans in Canada, stay tuned. June 10th, Atlantic City. Don't miss it. If you can get there, the weather is much better. Come on out and see a great fight and celebrate with the champ, Antonio Tarver. Thank you.
The weather's better in June.
No, I know. He kind of missed the point.
We'll leave the igloo now and go down to Atlantic City.
Listen, though, he is a likable man. And honestly, when he says, I know it's a bit bravado, when he says he's the king at the division, he really is the king within that division. You didn't necessarily like his answer, though, when it came to Glencoe Johnson.
Well, no, I didn't. You know what? And I mean, he says he beat him twice. Well, you didn't beat him twice, Antonio. You beat him once, and the first time was a very, very close fight, which went Glenn Johnson's way. You can make an argument you might have won the fight, but I guess Hopkins could make the same argument against Jermaine Taylor. You guys have a split now, so I think it's only fair that as the champion and as the king, that you give one of the subjects his chance again in that third fight.
What has fair got to do with it, though? Fair has nothing to do with it. At this point, he just wants a payday. He knows Johnson's dangerous. Why should he take it, though?
Well,
it makes no sense for him.
Yeah, I know, but you have to live with the criticism as well when people are going to ask you, you know, why aren't you fighting that third fight? Because you know you're in a tough fight. When he said he wants the money, means I need a lot of money to go to war with this guy.
And I don't blame him.
I don't want to go to war for free.
No, I don't blame him one bit.
Well, you know what? But I want to see that fight.
Because we have talked to Bernard Hopkins and others who have said that Glencoe can really thump. When we come back, we'll find out who Jermaine Taylor has added to his corner. You're watching In This Corner with Russ Anber.
Okay, quiet, everyone. Here are the facts. People have finally discovered that with more flavor and 64% less fat than mayonnaise, Miracle Whip makes a better tasting turkey sandwich. We've decided our best chance for survival is to not be turkeys, but fox.
He's finally lost it.
Bad news for turkeys, good news for you. With more flavor and 64% less fat than mayonnaise, Miracle Whip makes a better tasting turkey sandwich.
Time and weather can make concrete look bad. Fix it with Techstone Granite by Beauty Tone. Only at Home Hardware and Home Building Center. An easy way to beautify and protect steps, balconies, floors, walls for as little as $1.70 a square foot in 3 simple steps. Prime with granite primer, trowel on Techstone Granite, seal it. For a slip-resistant surface that stands up to water, salt, and lots more. Now that's a step in the right direction. Techstone Granite by Beauty Tone. Only at Home Hardware.
Surprise for you.
Oh no. Here come the Hendersons.
So you're saying you need more hunters? They never shut up. Especially for us, you know.
I don't think they see us.
Looks
like they've gone inside.
Good, because they never shut up. You know, it's like I was saying.
To think of myself as a space mom. And that's why I choose Apple Auto Glass for my windshield repairs. Because it's nice to know that Apple Auto Glass cares about our safety as much much as I do.
Rival boxing gear, designed to perform.
Busy week of boxing on TSN. A little bit of everything. Hey, we got Alan Green's return to the ring. This guy can thump. We'll have it for you.
You got to watch this. This was the guy who had the knockout of the year last year.
On Saturday, it's some classic boxing. Mike Tyson against Pinkland Thomas, followed by the Bryd Klitschko fight, in case you missed it. And it's all on TSN. More news to pass your way. Middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor, who's had the same training team since his 2001 pro debut, is making a major change in his corner just a couple of months before he's to defend his title against Winky Wright. Now, Taylor, who faces Wright in his second title defense on June the 17th in Memphis, has hired Uber trainer Emmanuel Stewart to serve as a co-trainer with Pat Burns, who has been Taylor's head trainer his entire professional career.
And amateur career.
An injury has forced former two-time WBC lightweight champion Stevie Johnson to pull out of his May 26th championship fight against Herman Ngoju. His promoter hopes that Johnson can get back in the ring by June. The bout would have been for the NABF light welterweight title. And on June the 8th, heavyweight Kirk Johnson is set to appeal the result of his March 3rd bout against Javier Mora. The bout went into the books as a TKO, but Johnson maintains that his injury forced the fight to be stopped. It was caused by an accidental foul, and that the fight should have gone to the scorecards instead, in which case Johnson would have been victorious. He was leading at that point in time. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has filed complaints against boxers Ab Judah, Yoel Judah, and Floyd Mayweather, along with cornerman Leonard Ellerby, for their roles in a melee during Judah's welterweight title fight with Floyd Mayweather earlier this month. All three men face fines and either suspensions or license getting revoked. A meeting is tentatively set for May the 8th at 10 a.m., so we continue to see fallout from that. You know, it's funny because at the time when Kirk Johnson went down due to that injury, you piped up immediately. You said, you know what, this isn't right. He deserves a better fate than this.
Yeah, and he does. You know what? If it would have been an accidental clash of heads, if there would have been something, you know, out of the ordinary that would have occurred, they would have gone to the judges' scorecards, which probably would have been a fair thing because the injury was not caused by something that the opponent did. It wasn't that he got hit. I mean, the guy blew his knee out, all right? It wasn't even that he was faking the injury. The guy blows his knee out. So why wouldn't you go to the card? I mean, I know we don't have a place in the rules for it.
Will he win his appeal then?
You know what? Very rarely will ever a decision be overturned. So once the decision is taken, I don't think it will be overturned. But, you know, you kind of just, it seems unfair. There should be a rematch because it seems unfair that this is going to result in a loss on his record because here he is winning the fight, and, you know, even the guy who won didn't expect to win that way.
Right, and he was losing on all the scorecards.
Yeah,
Moria wasn't. Johnson looked,
that's right.
He looked really good in that fight. Yeah. You're right, unfortunate series of events for him. All right, when we come back, it is Russ's final flurry. We'll take a look at more fallout from the Zab Judah Mayweather fight and more. You're watching In This Corner.
No! I can't believe it!
What's going on, Frank?
I'm watching NHL playoff highlights on my Bell phone.
How's our team doing?
Well, we had a great first period, but now we keep getting scored on.
Oh, really?
You shaved? You're not supposed to shave your playoff beard.
I started spot waxing and things got out of hand.
Well, great. They scored again.
Now, you can't blame that one on me.
Are savings an endangered species? Most banks pay peanuts for your savings, but try to make you spend. That's how they make money. But how do you make money? With the ING Direct Investment Savings Account, your savings make it for you, paying high interest every day on every dollar, with no fees to eat away at your money. Your savings prosper, proving that while being big cannot guarantee survival, being smart can. Call. Save your money.
Here at Harvey's, we do things a little differently. First, we grill your burger, and then we top it right in front of you. It's why we make Canada's best-tasting burger.
I said I was sorry.
And now for a limited time, try the new Texas burger, only at Harvey's.
Steel Power Equipment comes fully equipped with expert personal service at over 900 dealers across Canada. Not at Home Depot, not at Canadian Tire. Steel. Locate a dealer near you at steel.ca.
Some fertilizers lack staying power. But CIL Golf Green has double-coated nitrogen to feed your lawn continuously. CIL Golf Green. Greener, longer, guaranteed.
In This Corner on TSN is brought to you in part by CIL Golf Green. Greener, longer, guaranteed. And by Lawn Weed Out. Kills lawn weeds, won't harm grass.
It's another great night of Wednesday night boxing on ESPN Classic. First at 9 p.m. Eastern, you can catch Classic Night at the Fights with George Foreman. He was one of the scariest fighters of his era.
Goes Frazier.
Yeah, he tore people apart. That's followed at 10 p.m. Eastern with ESPN Knockouts. You can catch one of Russ's top knockouts of the last year, Brian Minto against Vinny Matalone. We all remember that. Bing, bang. That was a crazy fight. For more Russ, you can go to tsn.ca for a podcast version of In This Corner, which brings us to Mr. Anber's final flurry. We throw
Bring
some
it on,
topics.
brother.
Oh, there's
Bring
the
it
bell.
on. Bring it
this
on.
comes from Kwame, who now wants to be in your posse. He was the guy who didn't necessarily like your reference to gangster rappers and the whole thing, but now he seems to be on board. He thinks that they need a rule. He might subscribe to your theory that perhaps they should come up with some sort of policy to police the ring so not everybody jumps in there.
You know what? It's funny you should mention that, and I want to show you some roll-in of the fight between Kermit Cintron and Estrada right at the end of the fight. And if we can roll that now, you're going to see, look at this. This guy just finishes 10 rounds. Everyone's squeezing him, hugging him, jumping into the ring. Now watch this guy get into the ring here and watch him give the stare down in the eye to Cintron. Look at the evil eye he puts on this guy, right? You got to wonder this. Now, I'm telling you this not only if there's a problem, but even when a guy wins. The guy just goes through a 10-round war where he gets nailed with bombs from Estrada. The fight's over, and these three guys jam him into a corner, squeezing him, grabbing him, and hugging him. Hey, the guy's just been pounded for 10 rounds. Stop letting people in the ring. I don't know what else I have to say. Stop letting them in the ring.
Okay, this one comes from Nelson.
Understand that.
Yes, Nelson Marigato. Yeah, you've been hammering me on a week for that, with that same sort of theme. Nelson Marigato, he wants to know, though, this was a real tough fight against David Estrada. Do you think that we'll end up seeing Cintron back in the ring with Antonio Margarito again?
Oh, no. Now, wait a second. Estrada and Margarito, like, there's a little bit of a difference here. He just had a war. I think the book is still out on Cintron as to whether, you know, he's back and established himself as the prospect that he was prior to the Margarito fight. He looked good. He hit Estrada with some good shots, but there's a big step up between Estrada and Margarito. So right now, I think Cintron needs to get his confidence back, because if you ask me, even in the Estrada fight, and like I said at the outset, Estrada is ordinary. You know, Kermit Cintron had to struggle hard for that win.
Okay, this one comes from Ahmed Osman, and he wants to know, what's Steve Molitor up to? When are we going to see him in the ring again?
Molitor is the #1 ranked contender for the IBF title against Israel Vasquez. If they do not come to an agreement between the promoters, I believe by mid-May, the fight will go to a purse bid. So it looks like this fight is going to happen for Molitor against Israel Vasquez.
Okay, the next question comes from Will McLean. He wants to know, fill in the blank here. Lucien Bute is the best young Canadian boxer since?
Anybody you want to mention, doesn't matter. Gotti, Grant, Hilton, anybody you want to mention, he's the best since them, no doubt about it.
Boy, you waffled on that one. This one.
What do you mean waffled on what?
Pick a name.
It doesn't matter the name. He is the best since anybody.
Is he going to be the best Canadian ever?
Oh, that's a different question now.
From Keith
that wasn't the question.
Hey, from Keith in Saskatchewan, he wants to know, what do you think is the best trilogy in boxing?
Oh, there's lots, but I think if you went from sheer, you know, importance, Ali Fraser. That's got to be the top three. Ali Fraser.
Well, we had one more to get to.
But there's great ones, you know.
You know, well, there's some fantastic ones. When you take a look at Gotti and Mickey Warder, you look at Barrera and
Zale
Morales.
and Graziano.
Absolutely.
Sadler, Pep.
Would you stop talking? The next edition of the show comes your way at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. We will talk to Oscar De La Hoya. From all of us here, thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you again next week.
Go Habs, go!
Russ Anber's Clothing by Pellegrino Castronovo.